Welcome back to the channel, y'all. I'm going to show you my 3 favorite wintertime areas to find them cold water crappie. And then at the end, I'm going to show you an old sneak hole, or tell you about an old sneak hole to find them big and showing up. We'll start her off with my 3rd favorite place to find them wintertime crappie. Channel swings. A bend in any kind of creek channel, river channel, anything like that. Just where the river or the channel makes a turn, a sharp turn. Look at them channel swings. I like looking on the deep side of the channel first. A lot of times them fish will congregate there. They can just move vertically up and down in the water column to get in the right depth of water, right temperature that they like. On a body of water where there's a lot of current that's coming through the creek or river channel, you might look on the inside turn because you know it'll have that natural kind of a point where a creek will make. It'll make a little secondary point. Look on that side if there's a lot of current coming down kind of behind it, and that'll act as a natural current break for that current that's running down the creek channel, whatever you want to call it. They'll get in behind there. But my number 1 place to start looking on a creek bend or a channel swing is on the deep side of it. That's just what I prefer. My number 2 most favorite place, and it's probably tied with number 1 to be honest with you, is deep flats. Anywhere on a body of water where there's a deep flat that's kind of consistently the same depth, I'm going to say anything over 14, 15 foot, I consider deep water. Look for cover on that. Wood, rocks, rock piles, brush piles, even bridges, bridge pilings. And a little thing about bridge pilings in the wintertime, that sun will warm up that concrete, which will transmit whatever the $5 word is. It'll make that water get warm around that concrete too, to where that sun's beating down on it all the time. And a lot of times it'll draw them fish. That's why a lot of people fish around bridges. Plus also, most of the time a bridge is going to cross a channel at some point. So you'll have that also where that bridge. So that bridges are really good in the wintertime for that. For the warming of the water aspect, the sun hitting the concrete. Generally it's close to deeper water. It's got a channel or something running there. So deep flats, that's my number 2, tied for number 1. I really like finding brush piles. And the thing about a deep flat is when you find a brush pile that's got fish on it, more times than not, it's going to have a whole bunch of them. It's going to be a school of crappie. You ain't going to just go out there on a deep flat and find you a good brush pile and it be one up there. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have multiple fish that's living in that, and that'll draw all your bait fish and whatnot for them just to sit there and enjoy. And they got cover, they got food, they don't have to move. My number 1 place that I love finding them, tied with the deep flats, I'd have to say, would be the mouths of a creek. Wherever a creek runs out into a bigger body of water, a lake, a river, something like that, where that creek channel dumps out into it, I look right inside of that dump. Don't get out in the, I guess you could if you want to. It ain't going to hurt you. Get out there in the main lake part of it, but come inside that creek channel just a little bit. And a lot of times them fish will congregate right in that area. And this is kind of the starting of their life cycle, the wintertime. They'll congregate on them cold days. They'll be bunched up out there in the mouth of them creek. And as the year progresses and their life cycle, moves forward or whatnot, they'll move up that creek. They'll move closer and closer to the back of the creek to where they'll spawn. And then when it gets summertime, they'll start moving right back out. And they'll be right there in the mouths of them creeks in the summertime also. But in the wintertime, the mouth of a creek is where I like to find a lot, and it'll be a lot of and it's going to be all kinds of fish out there. That's a natural fish life cycle, I guess. They come out there, they're close to deep water. When it gets time to go in, all I got to do is follow that creek up, and they can get to shallow water quick. That's why I like the mouths of creek. If I'm starting a new lake, that's where I'll start looking first. I'll start looking at the mouth of a creek where it dumps out into the lake. Then I'll go to my deeper flats, look for cover, any kind of brush pile, any kind of wood, rocks, whatever. And then third, I'll go look in channel bends. I'll look in the swings of the channels, anywhere that channel will make a turn, that's where I'll look. And that little sneak hole. If you ain't already, hit that little subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. And that bell, that'd help me out a whole bunch, y'all. But look on bright, sunshiny days, especially in muddy water, because we all know that muddy water tends to warm up faster than clear water because of the particles. The sun will hit the particles and they'll warm the water. But anyway, it don't matter if it's crystal clear or muddy. Look on the backs of your pockets. Look in that shallow water. On a bright, sunshiny day, that sun will come down, warm the water up. Them fish can feel it, and they'll run back there and get in that warm water. It's just like me and you on a cold day. If you in the shade or under a tree or something and it's cold outside, you cold to the bone, baby. But if there's a sunshiny spot, you go get in that sunshiny spot, a lot of times it'll warm you up because that sun's beating down on you. Fish is the same. When that sun's beating down, it'll warm the water up and you'll find them in that shallower water. And I'm talking 3, 4, 5 foot of water. If you're in the clear lakes, it's liable to be 6 to 10 foot. But around here, it ain't unusual to find them in 4 or 5 foot of water this time of year on a bright, sunshiny day because the water's getting warmer. That surface temperature is warming up, and them fish will sense it, and they'll run up in there with the bait fish. And that's how they live. So that's my 3 favorite wintertime crappie places, areas, places to go find them. And then that one, old Sneeko, that old snatching on them, Josie hole as they call them. That's my go-to for a big, you know, at the end of the day, you're close to the limit. You say, heck, I want to run up here for a minute and get back here on that shallow flat. It's bright, sunshiny. It'll be a big one up here more times than not. You right. They going to be back up in there just sunbathing, if it will. But that's my 3. I sure do appreciate y'all watching the video. If you don't mind, like I said, hit that little old subscribe. That'd help me out a lot. Y'all keep snatching on them, baby.